Here we go. Good morning out there, and I want to welcome the audience to our podcast, our videocast as I now call it, the Ernie Meyer Show. And today we're featuring Richard, who will talk about his 501c program, where he actually has developed video and audio for handicapped children. And actually what he does is he takes those books and actually transcribes them into video and audio so that the hard of hearing, the hard of seeing, or the blind can actually experience what the person experiences live in person. So with further ado, I'd also like to say that Richard has sparked an old memory of mine. When I used to go to work in corporate America down I-90 in Wisconsin, and a little about the middle of Madison by the Beltline, I would hear the animal stories, and that was from WLS. And Richard worked for WLS, and when I found that out, it immediately brought me back to Uncle Lair and Little Tommy. And I always enjoyed hearing the reruns at 6:45 every morning of Uncle Lair and Little Tommy's animal stories. But further than that, and more importantly, is Richard with his definite contribution to the handicap of children. So I would like to welcome Richard. Thank you very much for being a guest on my show. Richard,
thank you, Ernie.
You're welcome.
Doing great.
Tell us how you got started in this and what your passion is for the children. I have a different passion for children, but I want to hear yours.
Well, you know, reading stories to my kids was very important to me. I lived in the library when I was a child. And as I became, I had a radio news career in WLS Chicago, was one of the places I did radio news. I became an audiobook narrator. But I did notice that there was a gap in the audiobook world, which is that children's illustrated books don't really make sense as audiobooks. And I had been a guide for blind skiers, so I was part of the blind community, and also a Learning Ally volunteer reading books for the blind. And I said, what if we added audio description of the pictures so that blind children and visually impaired children could actually enjoy illustrated books? So that's what began Imagination Videobooks. And we've produced about 50 videos so far, and are just now adding, adding the American Sign Language interpretation to the videos. So they're for deaf children also. So it serves both blind and deaf children and gives them the full experience of children's illustrated books.
That's a remarkable deal, that you are doing, Richard, for the children of this world. And I commend you for following up on this and filling the gap and the void that is in America today and basically all over the world. So thank you for recognizing that and stepping up, because we tend to forget children, and children are our future. And you have really done a lot as far as that particular goes. And tell me about your roadblocks in life that led you to this more than what you were talking about here.
Well, the interesting thing, the major roadblock in my life started with when my dad died. He committed suicide when I was in college. And I thought my plans for my career in radio news or TV news were over. But instead, I used it as an opportunity and started at WLS, as a matter of fact, when I was 19. I called them from Southern Illinois University when anti-war riots were going on and said, look, they're throwing rocks through my windows and they're rioting. Do you want anything on this? And they said, yeah, kid, we're rolling. And so I said, they're throwing a rock through the window on my left, and that's a rock through a window on my right. I'm standing in front of the only window left. I'll call you back. And they remembered me and hired me when I was 19. So, I was gutsy enough to think that I could join a major market radio station. Um, and I had to change careers a couple of times because radio news, when Ronald Reagan was president, actually, they deregulated it, which meant that radio stations didn't have to carry news anymore. And about 90% of the radio stations in America said, okay, we won't. And the jobs went away, and so did mine. So I had to restart my career. I went into sales for a while, didn't really like it. And then I said, okay, audiobooks. Like I said, I loved reading to my kids. And I said, and I'm a ham, so I could be characters and voices, the wizard, once upon a time. And so it was just a lot of fun. So as part of what I've done with my life is reinvented myself several times.
Mhm. That's great. That really helps the person that really goes through the roadblocks and actually comes up with different things to reinvent themselves so that they keep their careers going or follow new careers and just don't stay on a one path and complain about how it brought them there. They shift gears, and it seems like you have. I've met you a couple of times at Gary Barnes boot camp, and we had a wonderful time. You really gave a great presentation the time that I was there, and my wife was impressed as well. So thank you very much for helping the children of the world who are less fortunate. My passion goes for children of cancer and children of handicaps like Shriners and what have you. So those are the ones that I support. But, I definitely love what you have done. And I hope that more people see this so that we can actually have your message spread across the world. And be sure, audience, to like, share, comment, and subscribe to our channel, to the Ernie Meyer Show, and especially watch Richard's interview, and you will really enjoy this. You will really enjoy this. You can make a living or you can design a life. Richard, is there any way that the people can get a hold of you while you are?
Sure. Imagination Videobooks, plural.org is our website. And I'm Richard at imaginationvideobooks.org. Happy to talk to any authors, or if people would like to donate to support our effort, they can find the donate button at imaginationvideobooks.org.
That's great. I want to let you know that I'm going to give you an offer at the end, a free irresistible offer from Ernie Meyer Show to you, so that you can enjoy the future of yourself and broadcast your own 15 minutes of fame right here on ErnieMeyerShow.com. Anyhow, Richard, are there any parting words that we will like to hear from you as far as?
Yeah, I would say read to your children. It is the most important thing that you may not realize how important it is until your children grow up later, that they weren't just in front of a TV or a computer, that they actually had someone read to them, your children, your grandchildren. It's critically important.
I would agree with you. I really look back in my life and my parents, and how you model and what you do actually tells what your children will do and so forth down the road. And had my mother and father done that particular thing, and they were great. They did the best they could with what they had. But reading to me, in fact, my mother used to say, "Are you writing a book?" Every time I'd ask a question, she'd say, "Leave that page out." Because that was her way of saying, "I don't know."
Yeah.
So I left that page out, but I kept asking questions.
Yeah.
So once again, Richard, I'd like to thank you for being a guest on the Ernie Meyer Show. And make sure that the audience, when you see this, that you subscribe, that you like, that you comment, that you share this video. And maybe you'll touch the lives of somebody else who will see this. And you can make a living or you can design a life. So remember, design your life. And that will actually improve the world because you have something to offer. Richard has something to offer. And a lot more than animal stories, although I did love them.
Me too.
Anyway, I want to thank you and good luck and goodbye for now. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Ernie.